Dayspace online podcast. Dayspace.
Hello and welcome to another podcast here at Dayspace Online. Very exciting this week. Our theme is the 80s and we've got some very exciting guests here at the Caterham Digital Hub to join us for this podcast. So, introduce yourselves. Who have we got here today?
I'm Tony, and I'm normally from Caterham, but working at Reigate now.
Yay! It's good to have you back, Tony.
Thank you very much.
No, you're not having her. She's mine at Reigate. So I'm Julia from Dayspace Reigate. Hi, guys.
Hello, Anthony here from Dayspace Reigate as well.
They've picked
Thanks
us
for having
because,
us.
Yeah, they've picked us because we were alive in the 80s.
Yeah, I have to admit, we couldn't use the Caterham staff because they were all too young, so I had to go and find some older ones. So we've dragged them in from Reigate.
Thank you.
Finally, who else have we got?
And we got Dom from Caterham as well.
Lovely. We like to get Dom on the front line of this sometimes, not just doing all the technical stuff in the background. So, this week then, guys, 80s theme. How do you all feel about the 80s?
Love it.
Well
Loving
informed.
it.
Well informed.
Yeah.
I'm
We all
still.
got good memories about the 80s.
Yeah.
Times of our youth.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Back in the day. Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it is quite an iconic decade, so we are going to take a bit of a trip down memory lane today, guys. I hope you are ready. So we're going to look at some different kind of topics and cultural things, I'll say, shall I?
Things.
So we're going to start off with gaming. Who was a bit of a gamer?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
remember the gaming. Was it the ZX81 Spectrum,
ZX81
Commodore
Spectrum.
64?
Galaxy.
Absolutely.
Was
Yeah.
it, did the
Pac-Man.
Mega Drive come out
Yeah.
then? Was that Mega Drive and Nintendo?
Well, it was the Nintendo Entertainment System,
Yeah.
the Atari 7800,
Atari.
and the Sega Mega Drive were all released in the 80s.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
Sega Mega Drive was like a different planet when it came out, wasn't it? Because it was terrible before then, wasn't it?
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
had that big cartridge you had to lock in
Yeah.
the top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't realise actually, the decade started with the release of Pac-Man in the arcades.
Wow, yeah.
Oh.
Not
Arcades.
even on a handheld, in
Oh,
the
yes.
arcades.
10p.
And
See,
also...
Pac-Man's still really good today. Like, if you play it, it's so,
Yeah.
like, with the ghosts and everything.
Absolutely, my 5-year-old has just discovered Pac-Man.
Pac-Man,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's still going strong
Yeah.
even now. And also Nintendo was big in the 80s with
Yeah.
the release of Donkey Kong,
Yeah.
Super Mario
Super
Brothers,
Mario.
The Legend of Zelda.
Yes, I remember the Legend of Zelda.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, that was quite groundbreaking, I think,
Yeah?
Zelda, yeah.
And Mega Man. I don't remember that one.
I don't remember.
No, I
that.
don't Mega
No,
Man.
maybe that was.
See, I had a Snoopy tennis. Does anyone remember Snoopy tennis?
Oh, God, now you say
On the
it,
little,
yeah.
were
The
they
little
Game Boy?
Nintendo game. Yeah.
What were they called? But they were little handheld things, and
Before
and they
Game
kind
Boys.
of went plip plop, plip plop, kind of. I used to love Snoopy tennis.
But weren't they amazing,
Donkey Kong.
these things, when they came up, having never seen anything like that before, when all this stuff came out, what you've got to try and explain to younger people is, it really was incredible.
Cutting
at
edge.
first, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It looks rubbish now, but yeah.
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 I mean, I
think
have
that-
to say, I don't remember much about the games. I just remember the theme tune of it turning on and it being like, Sega.
That's it,
Just
yeah.
that noise always happened in our house constantly.
I mean, I remember the sort of Pac-Mans and Donkey Kongs. It was just the same thing, really, round and round and round. It just got faster and faster.
Yes,
That was it.
Yeah, yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. It
Was it?
got
Yeah,
faster.
That was the whole point.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Sonic and Zelda were the ones which actually had a bit more to them. When you progressed, the levels did actually change slightly, but yeah,
Oh,
Donkey
you
Kong.
talk about them like they're such old friends of yours.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
Zelda. Fab, any other games that anyone had that was a favourite?
Yeah, I had like this silver box. It was kind of sort of, yeah, like a box, and it had a little screen on it and like a little joystick thing. What was it called? Astro Wars.
Oh, yes.
Do you remember Astro Wars?
Yes.
I used to love it, and it was like a Space Invaders thing, but it was like a mini arcade game that
I
you
remember
could
it
sit
with
on
the
your
big
lap.
box on
And
top. Yeah.
I used to fight with my brother a lot. It's my turn. Give it to me. It's my turn. Because you could only really have one. They were really expensive back in the day.
Back in
Because
the
they were
day.
so new, and you.
For all your viewers at home, you can play along, and every time we say "back in the day,"
Yeah.
you can score
Mind
points
you.
in this
Funny
podcast.
enough, though, you never heard that phrase in the 90s, did you, back in the day? That's a relatively modern thing, isn't it?
Let's not say
No?
it anymore on the podcast.
Showing our
We're
age.
aging
Anyway,
ourselves.
I do remember a great game when it came out. It was like a first 3D game. but everything was literally just wireframe spaceships. They couldn't do all the graphics. Elite. It was amazing, and they had all these missions and things. It was
Brilliant.
great, but graphically rubbish. But
Rubbish,
amazing.
but you were flying through outer space.
Yeah.
And it seemed at the time.
Yeah, so
amazing,
clever.
amazing.
Yeah, so, well, sticking with kind of games, let's just talk a little bit about technology. So the personal computer, no one calls it that anymore now, the personal computer, do they? Entered in the 80s as a very expensive hobby and was developed into a widespread consumer product by the end of the decade. But the first Apple Macintosh was released along models from IBM and Commodore. Remember Commodore?
And BBC, the BBC Model B. I remember that one.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And our slide here also says, additionally, the Motorola Dynatac, or the 8000X, were released in 1984, and they were the first ever commercially available mobile phones. Goodness. So let's have a little talk, guys, about when did we all have our first mobile phone or our first computer at home?
I got my first one in 97. My first mobile phone, 97. That feels like really late to get a mobile phone.
I think I was like 2000 or something like that.
Yeah, there you go, yeah.
I'm trying to think what I would have. I can't remember when I got my phone. I remember the computer.
We weren't used to having them. I mean, we're the generation where we'd go out all day and not phone our mums,
Phone
and
box.
they'd say you have to be home, or a phone box.
Phone box.
If you had a private phone call,
Yeah.
you'd give the girl or boy you were seeing the number of the nearest phone box, and then you'd go there
Yeah,
at 7 o'clock.
definitely.
in the
Phone
day.
box.
At 7 o'clock, ring me on this
Answer
number.
phones. Remember
Yeah.
the old answer phones? And then they got really clever. They could phone into your answer phone. to
Phone.
pick up your messages.
Oh,
My
yes.
uncle had one of those ones
was-
where
yeah.
you had to carry a great big box round for your mobile phone, and it was like a great big brick that
A
you
brick,
used to
yeah.
put up.
Yeah.
But the battery didn't last very long. It was about an hour, and it took about 2 hours to actually charge the thing up. And it looked like a briefcase, and that was his mobile phone. That was their work phone.
Did anyone ever use a in-car phone? You know, when they were really
No.
pushing
No.
in, and it was like the most exciting thing ever.
Did you?
We didn't own one, but I did get to go on like I can't remember what it was, but it was something like a fancy dinner dance or something, and we'd got our family had got a lift in a limousine. Got a lift in a limousine. I sound so posh.
It
I
does.
know I'm not. It's the highlight of our whole family calendar. And they had one in the car, but it was like nobody used it, but we all just sat staring at it.
Yeah. What does it do?
Waiting
What is
to use
this
it.
thing?
But yeah, I mean, I think we were kind of mid-90s when we had our first phone, but we had a family mobile, and it was
Wow.
one that we had for all four of us, and then kind of at the weekends, that was only really the time you ever needed it, we all used to sit and have a talk about who was most likely to get in an emergency situation and need the phone.
Right, okay.
Was it you,
Yeah.
Joe?
Yeah,
Was
I
it
quite
you?
often had the phone, yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah, I mean, it's strange. Just weren't used to these things.
No. I
Didn't
remember the
need
computers
them.
as well. I mean, going off mobile phones a bit, the computers. And I remember my mates had the BBC Model B was the kind of really good one at the time, I think. And you could program stuff in basic language. I don't remember all that. And then there was the ZX Spectrum.
I had one of
ZX
those.
81, I think.
I had a
Which was really
Spectrum.
weird. I never understood that one because you pressed a key thinking it was going to put a letter E up on the screen and you got a whole word appear. It was
Oh.
kind of really weird computer, that one. And then they did like baby versions, didn't they? There was the Acorn Electron, which was a tiny version of the BBC B.
Wow.
And I seem to remember Apple had the Apricot. I seem to remember an Apricot
Yes.
computer.
Yeah, I remember this.
Yeah.
I mean, all this stuff
Well,
I'd
that didn't
completely
catch on,
forgotten
did it?
about, but now
No.
as soon as you say it, it comes back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
I think we had a
Yeah.
Commodore 64.
Commodore 64,
I
that's
wanna
quite
say.
Oh, they were
see
for
that.
posh people, weren't
Yeah.
they? They're for
Well,
people, you
there
know.
you go then.
Oh, there you go.
Limousines.
They were the best.
Limousines from Commodore 64.
Yeah, they were the best ones though. at
How the
time.
mighty have fallen since.
So I was at college in 86, 87, and in the whole of the college we had 3 computers. And you'd be on like a rota as to who could use the computer when. I mean, it's crazy when you go to the schools now and every, setting for the child, there's hundreds of these laptops everywhere. And we had to really share these three computers.
And then
Crazy.
we would get Atari computers at school when they started doing music software, and that was like groundbreaking. That you could record things in via MIDI and
Yeah.
then print out a really terrible apart, it looked awful, but
And
everyone was...
Cubase, of course.
Yeah.
Now, Cubase was a program, but you could have a studio in your house for the first time ever. So, you know, you got, well, I won't go into too much detail, but yeah, you could record properly, couldn't you? In your own home.
What music?
It
Music
was a
stuff.
music software. and
Music,
it's
right,
Still,
okay.
Yes, sorry, Cubase.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it was Logic on the Atari. That was the first one it came out on. Incredible.
Well, there you go. For anyone really interested in the computers, there you have it. We have a wealth of knowledge between Dom and Anne here.
Yes.
A few of us sitting there thinking, I've got no idea what they're talking about. So
Yeah.
let's move on, guys. Music. I know we've all got a shared passion for music here anyway, so let's just talk about some of the 80s music, because I think that's probably... Music and fashion are probably the biggest things, aren't they, that we take from each decade. So, the arrival of the CD was in 1982.
82.
I know, 82 is when the CDs
much
came in.
later.
And we had the likes of some of the biggest names in the 80s were Prince, Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson, Guns N' Roses, Madonna, and the Beastie Boys, among many, many others. But who would you say shaped your sort of the sound of the 80s for you, or kind of what were some of your best albums that you remember having?
Clear it for me, U2. U2 were my band all the way through that period.
Wow.
Yeah,
I like
posters all over
Bowie.
the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was Whitney Houston for me.
Was it? Was it?
What a voice.
I am
Yeah.
so... Why am I
She's
surprised?
she's got the best
Yeah,
voice
she
ever.
has.
Best technique, best voice, incredible singer. But isn't it interesting, that era, it was all about the artist. The record
Yeah.
companies promoted artists, and they invested in artists, and they created albums, all these people. It wasn't one-hit wonders, it was like actually
there were some
developing
dodgy ones.
Yeah.
ability, and yeah, you just
Yeah.
don't get that nowadays.
Yeah, you're right, actually. I think it wouldn't matter what song they produce, you would just buy it anyway. Whereas nowadays, if you had a favourite artist, but you perhaps weren't that keen on the song, I mean, not that we buy singles anymore, but back in the day...
Back in the
That's what
day.
we did. Yeah.
So for me, it was always Madonna. Madonna, Spandau Ballet, Tears for Fears. I
Human
really like
League.
the electronic
League.
music. I used to really like, sort of Depeche Mode and all of that. But
Joy
yes,
Division.
Frankie Goes to
I like Joy
Hollywood.
Division.
Oh, yeah.
Joy Division, yeah.
Yeah, I was quite a Madonna, Jackson, and probably a George Michael.
Oh, a little bit of Wham.
I was a whammer.
I love
I mean,
Wham.
they're all there, aren't
Yeah.
I got into Yes at the time. Wasn't it 90125 was there?
Lonely
That's the one that got me into Owner of a Lonely Heart. And that was in the 80s.
they? Is that yes? Oh, I like
Oh,
that
great,
song.
great.
And then I discovered all their 70s stuff, which was epic. Long, progressive rock stuff.
Golly.
Did you have long hair?
Oh, we'll have
No,
to talk
I
about this
didn't.
some other time. I love Yes.
Great
Yeah.
band, great band.
So, would you say, can anyone pinpoint favourite song? Favourite
From the
80s song?
80s.
I don't know a
Or
favourite
favourite
song, but the one that
album.
sticks in my head just because of the video was Sledgehammer when it came out.
Oh,
Oh.
okay.
Because that was just like, wow, what's Prince
Yeah.
Gabriel done with this? And he had
Yeah.
like a train going around his head, I think, and all sorts of wacky things going on in the video. That
I
was
used to
quite-
like all the power ballads, man. You know, it's things like White Snake, and I did love a ballad. Crazy for You by Madonna was, I could cry. I cried over
Yeah.
many a broken heart
Yeah.
to Crazy for
Yeah.
You by Madonna. Swaying room. Anyway, I won't go.
I think I
there's
loved
loads. There's
Ashes
loads.
to Ashes.
Okay.
Bowie.
Yeah.
Still love that song. Still probably my favourite.
Was that in the
song. One of my
80s?
favourite songs. 1980, I think it was.
Was it? Yeah, okay.
Went to, was it the Glass Spider tour at Wembley? Dressed in a black bin bag because it was absolutely thumping down. But he still looked good coming
Oh,
out
a
the middle of
bin
the
bag?
Glass
You
Spider.
said a
on-
bean bag. I was
Bin
like,
bag.
were you trying to be the spider? I don't understand your costume choice here. Right. Right, well, let's talk about films, guys, of the 80s. So, some of the highest grossing films were E.T., Return of the Jedi, The Empire Strikes Back, Indiana Jones, Batman, Rain Man, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Back to the Future, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and Top Gun. Any of those your faves?
Well, we all
Back
got
to
love
the
Star
Future.
Wars, Star Wars series, haven't we?
I think for the boys, probably Star Wars.
Yeah. I have a confession. I've managed to get to this ripe old age in life, and I've never once watched any of the Star Wars. I know.
Well, I mean, there's
You probably all heard
nothing wrong
that sharp
with
intake on the way home.
It's just strange. I've never
Yeah.
met a person like you.
It's just never interested me.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So I loved all the Brat Pack movies with your sort of Rob Lowe's and Emilio Estevez and Ali Sheedy and those guys. Things like Pretty in Pink and Breakfast Club,
Lost Boys.
St Elmo's Fire, Lost Boys. I loved all that. Sort of,
I like Ferris Bueller's Day Off as well. I like
Yeah.
that.
That's a great film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Karate Kid,
Yeah.
Wax On, Wax
Wax
Off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I think there was an awful lot of kind of teen films,
Yeah,
wasn't there?
I love
In
those.
the 18s, and they've really stayed quite classic, haven't they? And stayed around. There's one called 16 Candles,
Yeah,
which
that's it.
it's not that amazing a film, but it's just that says 80s to
Yeah,
me. And
John
I think I
Hughes.
watched it a lot then, and Breakfast Club as
Yeah.
well, and things like that, and Ferris
them.
Bueller's Day Off.
It's interesting, all those movies, they were very family orientated movies. They appealed to everybody in the family.
Yeah.
And they often used to have them on, didn't they, at Christmas time? You have the Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Oh,
Star Wars, but everybody, all the family members could actually engage with them. They were great films.
Well, that's because
Yeah.
we all only had one telly.
Yeah.
We didn't have tellies in all our rooms,
Well,
did we?
Well, maybe that's part of it because they realised
Yeah.
that everyone had to watch it at the same time. Whereas now, as you say, the difference is maybe people can sneak off and watch it in their own room.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I have to
The
say,
films are
I
great.
did want to be Jessica Rabbit.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think we all wanted to
Oh,
be
obsessed.
Jessica Rabbit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've
I had a
never
big fancy
seen
dress party for my 30th, that many years ago. And I went as Jessica Rabbit. It was a lifetime achievement.
I was interested because that's a little pet peeve of mine. Cartoons and
Yeah.
real people in films just don't mix for me.
Oh,
Do you
I
hate
Space
Mary
Jam.
Poppins then?
Oh, Mary Poppins, no, it's not for me.
You hit it here first, guys. Heard it here first. Goodness.
Bed knobs and broomsticks, all of it out the window.
Yeah. I think
But
there's
I mean,
just
I
so
used-
many good films, isn't there? I don't think there's too many to comment on, I think.
And we
really.
used to go to the cinema so much more. It was a real. You could afford to go to the cinema. It was really cheap to go, and we used to go with your mates and everything. Now it costs you an arm and a leg to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
might as well just wait for it to come on Netflix.
Yeah,
or
well, I think
something.
it was either cinema, wasn't it, or Saturday nights at home. Or, well,
Down
let's talk
Blockbuster
about
Video.
Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a big Friday night event,
Lost
wasn't
on
it?
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually used to work there.
Did
Back
you?
then, yeah, for about 20 minutes. No, for about a few
Yeah.
months. For a
Yeah.
few months, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, but you had to return the video.
Yeah.
You hired your video, paid your money, but you'd get fined. It's a bit like a library, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And if you didn't get your video back, you clocked up
I mean,
some serious.
I cultivated
fines.
so many more friends when they found out I worked at Blockbuster. It was all of a sudden.
Can you reserve the
Yeah.
latest
Are
copy?
you doing
of-
that?
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. All the
But
time.
young people nowadays will never know the struggle of, going, right, well, I want to watch a film, but we don't go to Blockbuster till Friday night. And then you'd watch them all Friday night. And then you'd be like, well, we're not going to go for another week now. That's
Yeah,
it.
but sometimes you turn up at the video shop and the film you want is already rented out, so
Yeah,
you
that's
couldn't
right.
get it
Get it
anyway.
anyway.
And you'd be, oh no.
Then you spend 20 minutes wandering around all the shelves going, now which one should we watch then
Yeah.
instead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God,
Oh, them were the
lived hard-
days.
hard lives, guys.
Who was it?
Right, so this topic is definitely going to bring up some interesting points, I think. Fashion in the 80s.
Oh man.
So it was bold, it was bright. Hairstyles were the perm, the mullet, the jerry curl, and the high top fade, and lots of big hair. I know, I can definitely say that. And popular fashion trends included aerobics and athletic clothes. Oh yes, bright colours and geometric shapes. So, what was your fashion sense like,
Well, it was
guys,
rolled up
in the
leg
80s?
warmers.
Shell suits and shoulder pads.
Yes,
Hated that.
shell suits and
And
shoulder
rolled up jacket sleeves in Miami Vice.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now that I went to a party when I was about 13, dressed as Crockett from Miami Vice.
Which one was that?
White, Don Johnson.
Okay.
White jacket, white slip on, and I thought I looked fantastic.
T-shirt, no shirt, T-shirt. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Espadrilles.
Espadrilles, bat wings. I used
Yes,
to have lots
bat
of
wings.
sort of bat wing dresses and
What I was thinking, I don't know.
fluorescence. I had
Yeah.
a lot of fluorescent clothes.
Thigh-high boots.
Oh no, so you're a bit older than me. Oh, did I say
Oh,
that?
sorry, no, I am the oldest at Dayspace.
So you are the oldest at Dayspace. It's come to light today.
Is it?
Not really. There are
Only
others.
today.
Okay. But yeah,
Yeah.
fashion. what was it? Trainers? Did we wear trainers then?
Yeah, wasn't
White
it
trainers.
LA gear?
501s.
And LA gear.
LA gear.
Trainers.
And Fame on the telly, they had all the,
Yes.
Oh,
the
yeah.
vests and the leg
Sweatbands.
warmers,
Yeah.
sweatbands, all that. Yeah.
Headbands. See, we used to go up to the King's Road because they had, what was it called? American. There was a shop, a second-hand shop in the King's Road where you were so cool if you bought your ripped 501s from this shop. Something American.
Yeah,
I
can't
wish I'd
remember because they
researched
had
that.
one in Brighton as well.
Did they? But you were really good. Where'd you get your jeans from? Oh yeah, went out to King's Road. You're so cool.
But they had lots of second-hand jean shops
Yeah.
in the 80s.
Yeah, but the King's Road was the one.
But it was the one.
And you had
yeah.
Chelsea Girl and Miss
Yeah.
Selfridge.
Yeah.
You can't imagine now though, going to a second-hand jean shop, can you?
No.
It just
Well, you
seems
see,
weird
no.
now to do it, doesn't it? And yet it was all the
Yeah,
rage.
but there's so many different sizes, shapes and styles of jeans these days. I think back then we came from flares into kind of like straight jeans
Yeah.
with rips and stuff. And did anyone wear the Grolsch? Do you remember Grolsch beer?
That was
Oh,
a
that's
cross
your-
thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, Grolsch, and you wore it on your boots like DM boots. Do you
Yeah.
remember? And you used to tie them to your shoelaces and walk around with Grolsch bottle
But
tops.
also, we used to grill our crisp packets and put them onto key rings.
Yes!
We
Hang
did.
them, yes.
I did
We
that.
did. You put them in the oven and they
That's
shrunk.
it, and they shrunk.
Shrinky.
Yes, shrinking.
Shrink.
Yeah.
Always, also at the time when they were doing the Scooby-Doo things.
Oh, yes.
Used to-
Oh, the
Scooby-Doo
Yeah.
plastic
Scooby-Doos.
Yeah.
thing.
That's
Yeah.
a bit like loom bands these days, isn't
Yeah.
it? Loom bands was quite a craze now.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
a couple of years ago, but
So, Chas,
Scooby-Doo.
did you have a mullet?
No.
No, in fact,
No.
the opposite.
Oh, you've
Almost
let
like a
us down.
reverse mullet, kind of short at the back, and almost like it's come back round now. A lot of young lads I see have got this long hair at the front.
You were
That
before
was
your
me.
time, mate. That's-
Short, a bit of sort of
You're an
like
innovator.
it was like a really terrible wedge. No, Phil, I was
Oh.
to be Phil Oakey with Human League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going for that look, but I wasn't allowed to, so I kind of cultivated this other
Right.
look, which was a bit made me look a
it
bit.
was a sensible Phil.
It was like-
Phil.
yeah, yeah.
His haircut. Yeah. What
Like
was
you.
yours like, Dom? Is it like
I
it is
don't
now?
think it was anything really. It was just.
I actually permed my dad's hair.
Did you?
Yeah. I was hairdressing at the time, so I permed his hair.
I just permed everybody.
Permed everybody I met.
But he loved it. He loved it.
Wasn't it Pat Sharp on Capital at
Oh,
the
yes.
ultimate mullet?
Yeah, Kevin Keegan.
Yeah.
sensational
Yes.
mullet.
They
Sensational.
all the footballers had the mullets and the
Chris
moustaches,
Waddle.
didn't
Yeah.
they?
Chris
That was-
Waddle,
that was
yeah.
Waddle and Hoddle.
Yeah.
But I was so lucky because whilst all my friends were getting perms, I'm naturally curly, believe
Yeah,
it or
me
not.
too.
So I was au naturel, and I was really, you know,
Using a
hip and with
diffuser
it
just to
and-
puff it up a bit.
Yeah. Oh, no, I had perms.
You have perms,
Lots
yeah.
of perms, yeah. Well, perms that you used to then, like, you used to have to straighten the top of it so that you could have it slicked back on the top and then this huge perm.
Yeah, okay, okay.
Remember?
Yeah.
And of course, this was in the days where straighteners didn't exist.
No,
And
what were
so
those?
I used to iron my hair on the ironing board with
Never.
a tea towel. Oh yes.
Oh,
To get rid of my perm, because I had naturally straight hair that I then permed and then straightened. But I don't know what I was
Oh,
thinking.
your poor hair. It was
survived
crying
since, I'm
out.
okay.
Save us. Oh dear. Yeah, there were some shockers, I have to say.
Brilliant. Right, so we're going to just round up our podcast today with a bit of a quiz. Let's see how much we know.
I'm
shall
really
we?
competitive.
So, hands on buzzers, guys.
Okay.
So, question 1. Which Blue Peter dog made their TV debut in the 80s? Was it Bonnie
I'm going to go Shep.
or Goldie,
Goldie.
or Mabel?
I'm
Goldie.
going
Goldie. I'm going
Goldie
Goldie.
was
Simon.
Simon's dog.
Simon's
wasn't
dog.
it? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Peter.
Shep
yeah.
was 70s. He was
It
John
It is
Knox.
Goldie. Is it
And
Goldie?
the answer is Bonnie.
Oh,
You're wrong.
I feel
Maybe-
cheated.
I think
Bonnie's
Goldie
Golden
was,
Labrador.
Did Goldie come after
Yeah.
Bonnie then?
After my time now. So I must have stopped watching it in the early 80s, I guess.
Yeah, Bonnie made her debut in 1986 and was the daughter of Goldie.
They,
Oh.
ah, so was Goldie in the 70s then? Oh, I feel
Yeah.
old. I feel really old.
Yeah.
Moving swiftly on.
Right, swiftly on. So question 2. In what year did EastEnders first air on BBC? 86, 85 or 84?
84.
85.
85.
85, I
Gosh,
reckon.
I don't know. Big guess, 86 I'll go.
Answer is 85.
Yeah.
And did you
85.
know that the square was nearly called... Oh, no, sorry, not the square. The show was nearly called Square Dance instead of EastEnders.
Well,
Where's the dancing bit? Why
I
would it
suppose
be?
it was all that
They
they were
changed it
square.
from they changed it from a musical into a soap opera.
Yeah. Maybe because it was all about them constantly busying around each other
Yeah.
and everything, and so
I watched it.
it would
I
have never
remember
stuck.
watching
It would
it.
have been off the air. I
It was
think.
quite a big deal when
Who
it
did
started, wasn't
Who?
it?
Somebody died in the first episode.
they found a body, didn't
They
they?
found a body, that's right. And Dr. Leg sprang
Hang on,
into
hang
action.
on.
And it's been,
Oh, sorry,
it's been
go
cheery
on.
ever
Oh,
since.
hang on.
Right, we've got another
Here we go.
EastEnders question
Oh,
here. So
right.
it's not about dead body, but it is.
Oh, okay.
What character had the first line in the first ever episode of EastEnders? Was it Den Watts, Angie Watts, or Arthur Fowler?
Arthur Fowler.
I'm going
I
with
think I
Arthur.
agree with
Yeah,
you.
it's got to be Arthur Fowler, isn't it?
It's got to be. No, it wasn't. It was Den Watts.
No. I'm not good at this, am
Dirty
I?
Den.
No.
And an extra point for anyone who might know what the line was.
Was
Pat'll
it
go
something?
mad.
What was their dog
Pat'll
called?
go mad.
Did they have a dog?
No.
What was the dog?
They did, Rowley.
Roly, yeah, Roly, come here
No.
or something.
The first line was "Core stinks in here, doesn't it?"
Never.
There you go.
I wouldn't have got that.
Piece of useless
Well, we were
information.
young
for
at the
you,
time.
but-
We were young.
So, question 4. In 1982, the UK hosted the Eurovision Song Contest.
Oh.
But where was it hosted? Birmingham, Harrogate, or Brighton?
Wow, I haven't got a clue.
Oh, Harrogate, because it sounds like it's not right.
yeah.
Why
may as
not?
well go.
I'm going to say Birmingham.
And I'll go Brighton. So one of us has got to be right.
Yeah.
Come on, you should know. You're from up north.
The answer is Harrogate.
Yay!
Get in, I got
Yeah.
one right.
Strange.
And it was won by Germany, by Nicole.
Oh, Nicole.
Oh,
See, I
99
remember
Red
that.
Balloons. Oh, that's Dana. Nicole.
Sadly, I
Nicole.
haven't got
remember Nicole.
the song listed
Oh,
here.
you
but-
now need to edit in the song from Nicole.
Right, question 5. Who finished as top scorer in the 1986 World Cup in Mexico?
Gary Lineker.
Was it Michael Platini, Gary Lineker, or, excuse my pronunciation, is it Diego Maradona?
Diego.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, apologies. There is a typo on PowerPoint.
Was that the year of
There's
the
an
handball?
F in
The
it.
famous
So
handball?
Diego Maradona.
Yeah, same year.
The famous handball.
Yeah.
Well, they went on, didn't they? So I'll guess Diego Maradona.
No, it's I trust Anthony on the football. I don't trust him on anything else.
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
It's Gary.
Gary.
Gary,
Gaza.
yeah.
Is it Garrett?
Hey,
It is.
it is.
It
Well
was
done.
Gary.
Yeah.
He got the golden boot after scoring 6 goals.
Fabulous.
There you go.
I used to really fancy him.
Question 6. Which British group appeared alongside Madonna at Live Aid in 1985? Was it the Thompson Twins, Wham, or the Eurythmics?
Thompson Twins. I know it really well. I could do that whole dance routine. I can memorise her outfit with all the accessories, everything. Yeah, it was the Thompson
You're the
Twins.
Madonna expert, aren't you?
Yeah.
We're not good
It
at
was my
Wembley.
favourite thing.
Of course, it is the
Thompson
Thompson Twins.
Twins,
You'd have
yeah.
looked very silly if that wasn't the right answer.
I would. No, I unequivocally knew that answer.
Were they like Tintin's
Yeah.
Thompson twins?
Yeah,
Thompson,
basically,
Thompson.
Yeah, we haven't even commented on Live Aid, but you know, that
Live
was
Aid
pretty
was amazing.
Yeah.
epic for the
The
80s.
event of the decade, surely. Right, eh?
Well, the
Absolutely,
probably
yeah.
Yeah.
century, but I recorded the entire thing on our VHS at
I
home.
done- I done
I've
the
got
wrong-
like about 6 whole videos, like 3-hour tapes, and we just let it record, and then we'd have to set an alarm in the middle of the night because it went on for hours and hours and hours. And quick, put the tape in, press record, and you had to press record and play in those days. 2 buttons together. Yeah, loved it. Watched it loads. Madonna
Yeah, I did the run because I was at the casino then. I'd started there, and there's a picture of me on the front of the Sun in my Live Aid T-shirt.
Run
though. You
the
were on
World?
the front of the Sun.
I was on the front
Yeah.
of the Sun.
The
in
Sun
run.
newspaper.
The Sun newspaper.
Wow.
I have
Tony.
a copy at home.
Well, at least she was on the front.
We need to get hold of a copy of that.
That's
There you go.
amazing.
Right, this is a biggie.
Uh-oh.
We'll all remember this.
Oh, yeah.
Which year did Michael Fish infamously reassure BBC viewers that a hurricane wouldn't happen? Was it 86, 87, or 88?
87. Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was
Correct.
terrible.
87. It was the Great Storm in 87 and the 16th of October. Poor
It was
Michael
scary. You know, we woke up. I was woken up by my window being sucked open at about 4 o'clock in the morning, and so I would have been about 16, I think. And then we went round because we lived in a private estate. It was quite fancy, but there were lots of old people who lived by themselves, and there was one fella who this tree just had fallen directly in front of his front door, and we had to go and get the fire brigade, me and my brother in our dressing gowns, just running around going, quick, there's a man, he's trapped in his house. And they came and they sawed this tree away from his door. We were lifesavers.
I was
his life.
driving home from the casino. I was 20 in a Ford Fiesta, trying to dodge trees as they were coming down on
Really?
pavements
scary.
and stuff. Yeah, about 4 in the morning.
Yeah, same. You know, it was all around that time.
Yeah.
And crikey, I got a
And there's
shock.
still, if you go to the woods nearby, there's still trees
Yeah.
that were uprooted then.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
left lying
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
The roots, all on view.
It was very exciting. I mean, obviously it was devastating as well, but to actually live through that was quite exciting. Just being sort of young and.
I slept right through it. Couldn't tell you anything
That's
about it.
hilarious. That's brilliant.
Right, next question.
Right.
Arnold Schwarzenegger had his career breakthrough in 1984 in The Terminator. How many lines did he have in the film?
That's a good one.
Was it 12, 13 or 14?
Oh, well,
God,
let's
you
go
think
for
it was
12.
so
I
many
don't
more?
think he could remember
I don't
many
think you
more.
can remember
I'm
30.
gonna
Yeah, I think that's about right. And he said
Wait,
the same
there was
line.
I'll
He
be
said the same
back.
line several
Yeah.
times, didn't
Hasta la vista, baby.
he? No, yeah.
Or what else did he say? We can probably count them up.
Shit,
I'd
that's
say
gone now.
12.
Yeah.
We're going 12. The answer is 14!
Never.
Oh,
You
talent he
underestimated
had.
he had a better memory than you
Terminator.
thought.
Yeah.
Yes.
With the most famous line being, I'll be back.
Yeah.
I'll be back. Yeah.
There you
Actually,
go.
Hasta la vista, baby might have been in Terminator 2, but whatever. I don't know.
Question 9. After the fall of the Berlin Wall in November 1989, which star performed on top of the fallen concrete barrier on New Year's Eve in the same year? Was it David Bowie, David Hasselhoff, or Bruce
really?
Springsteen?
Was it David Hasselhoff?
You think David Hasselhoff?
I do.
You know this. Don't you? You're pretending you know.
No, you know, I think I know it.
You seem
But I'm
fairly
not
certain.
sure.
It
You
seems.
do seem quite certain.
I'm hoping
no
it's David
recollection.
Hasselhoff.
I don't remember David Bowie.
Well, I know he was
No.
big over there,
I think
wasn't
it
he?
was.
They
Yeah.
loved
It
him
was
over
just really random.
Yeah.
It's like, really?
You
You've got
are
Knight
right.
Rider?
It is.
It
Yeah.
was the Hoff.
The Hoff? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go.
Really random.
And
But he's
quest-
massive in Germany, you see. He's huge in Germany.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they
there you
can
go.
have him.
And question 10, this is our last one of our little quiz here. Which of these hit songs reached number 1 in the 1980s? Aha, Take On Me, Queen, Radio Gaga, or Europe's The Final Countdown?
I'm pretty
That's
sure
hard.
Take On Me got to number
Yeah,
one.
Take On Me.
I think that got to number one, yeah.
It's funny though, because often you find that a great song was kept off number 1
By-
some- I think
By, like, Shut Up
Golden
At Your
Brown
Face
was
or
one
something.
Of those. Yeah, I think there was.
Vienna was kept off
There we
by
go.
Shut Up At Your Face.
So-
Yeah. And
I
I
think
think,
it's that one, because
But-
Top
but-
of the Pops, I seem to remember them being on it quite a bit.
Take On Me. was massive,
and they had
wasn't it?
a great video to go
Huge.
with that. It was
Must
kind
be,
of
must be.
animated.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
I
So
think
we'll go
Take
with
On
Aha.
Me is the most irritating song in the history of time.
Really?
There's
It's
that little
the
riff.
one
isn't it?
song I can't bear.
But
It's
what
up
a
there with
range!
Barbie Girl.
Oh, okay. See, I
Right,
quite
so
like
we think Aha, do we? The answer is the final
right.
countdown.
Oh,
That's
really?
so bad.
Yep, made it to number 1 in December 1986. Radio Gaga was held off the top spot in 1984 by Frankie Goes to Hollywood song Relax.
Relax.
Oh,
Great song. Love
Yeah, so there you
them.
go.
Well, we were wrong, Dom.
Yeah. Who'd have thought,
It's
eh?
rare.
Our memories on.
So that brings us to the end, guys, of our little trip down memory lane. I have to say it's been a pleasure having a chat with you guys and reminiscing. So we hope you guys at home have had a chance to reminisce with us today. And we hope you'll join us another time for a Dayspace podcast online. So thanks very much from me, and it's bye from these guys. Bye. See you soon. Bye.